figure we'll change it up a little bit on y'all today.
Stand up and shout.
Yo, this is one of my favorite songs, ladies and gentlemen, from one of the best, from one of my favorite movies. Featuring Mark Wahlberg. Y'all formerly know him as Marky Mark.
I know what you want and what you're thinking.
Now, the reason why I chose this song is because basically it's just to stand up and shout when you know what you know, what you know. It's not who you know, it's what you know from who you know. So I'm telling everybody, when you're in a position to teach and change somebody's condition in their life, stand up and shout it out, y'all. Now, I got a great one for you today. This is not going to take you long. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a rock and roller, man. You know, let me go ahead and cut this off and get started. Oh, man. From the movie Steel Dragons with Mark Wahlberg. You know, that was a great show. One of my favorite shows. But all right, let's get off into this. Today, I woke up this morning and I saw a post from a friend of mine. I would say we're friends. We've been knowing each other for a long time. And his post said, stop teaching people about LLCs. Everybody's not business minded. And basically, he was just saying, be quiet. These folks don't want to do it. All right, now, from that, ladies and gentlemen, I was like, yeah, you are definitely correct. Everybody's not business-minded, but that's not why we do this. I hope you guys can hear me. Man, please tell me you can hear me. I don't want any more runs of not being able to communicate. All right, but welcome to Plugged In, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Plugged In, to where we're going to plug you in with the information that you need in order to make you successful and get you to where you want to be. But again, that post started out and said, stop telling people about being LLCs. Everybody's not business-minded oriented, and just because you have an LLC doesn't mean that you're going to be making money. True statements in part, but let me tell you from this perspective. When you, the people suffer because of lack of knowledge. Let me say that again. The people suffer because of the lack of knowledge, because they don't know. And you will always be behind the 8 ball when you don't know. It's not who you know, it's what you know from who you know. And it's what you know, and if you apply what you know. Y'all gonna get this work this morning. Early this morning, y'all gonna get this work. Let me explain it this way. There are multiple reasons why you want to legitimately, legally register your business. If not, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have a business. You have an extra job. You have an extra job. You don't have a business. You have an extra job. And in that extra job, ladies and gentlemen, you will never receive any of the perks and benefits of an LLC if you don't register as an LLC. Let me tell you one thing. You will get yourself in a world of legal troubles if the IRS ever comes after you for not reporting earned income. Let me say that again. Take it from somebody who's been audited twice. It's no fun because now you have to produce receipts. And if you are not a person who is equipped with keeping up your receipts, you're going to get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. And you're going to find yourself writing checks that have a lot of money, a lot of figures on it. So when you understand what an LLC is and how to use that LLC to benefit your business, it changes the game. And it changes the game a lot. Now, let me tell you, for those of you who don't know what an actual LLC does or what it can do for you. One, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an LLC in a small business, your entire house is now a tax write-off. That right there should be enough to move you. Now, and we're not even gotten to the point of making any money, but let's just start right there about you saving and not spending any unnecessary money. Did you know that when you have an LLC, ladies and gentlemen, all of your utilities now are tax write-offs? See, when you listen to people who talk about stuff out the side of their neck, it's because they don't know. It's one of two things. Either A, they have absolutely no idea what they are talking about, or B, they don't want you to know so they can keep being on the level that they're on and you still down here. This is why businesses like myself and others, a host of others, where we plug you in. I am the plug. Where we plug you in with the information you need in order for you to be successful and not continuously to waste money. Let's let that marinate for a little bit. I'm trying to make sure and do a sound check and make sure that the sound is good on this. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the comments so I know that this is good sound. Because this is some good golden, I'm dropping you some golden nuggets of information that you're going to need. Please put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. If not, we got to reboot this and do this all over again. Okay, great. Glad you can hear me, Shepard. So when people start telling you about don't get in an LLC or you don't need to have an LLC in order to be a business, that is falsified information. Because if you don't have your business registered legally, again, if you don't have your business registered legally with an LLC, an INC, or a CO or a COM, you're setting yourself up for a world of problems. Now, the post said everybody's not business-minded. That's very true. Everybody's not business-minded, just like everybody is not college-minded to attend college and go through it, because now you are really classified as an adult. Nobody's looking over your shoulder. Mom and dad is not making you do your homework no more. Now you're in a whole entire world and space to where it's only you. This is the first step of entering into adulthood. I can't call my mom and say, hey, mom, can you fix this? Hey, mom, I need some help with my math. Or, hey, dad, can you help me with my science project? So everybody's not equipped to go to college, but that still doesn't say that everybody is not equipped to be successful. Now, we can look at all of the billionaires in the world who actually now the top 4 have all quit. So is that to say that college is a bad thing? No, it's not. They was just vibrating on a different frequency, or they're moving on a different level than the rest. But that still did not stop them from establishing a business. How does it? I'm taking you guys somewhere. So the post said everybody's not business minded. True, great. Everybody in the world is not. Because those of you who are not business minded, you will make great employees. That's just fact. It's sad to say. It's sad to say, but that's just a fact. In a class society, we need employees, because if everybody was a business person and became successful and established a little moderate wealth, who in the world is going to do the work? It's sad to say, but it's true. Now, here's my problem with that post. For someone to come out and say, don't listen to somebody who's trying to teach you how to be a legitimate business, that is where we are in error. Either A, they don't know what they're talking about, or B, they don't want you to know because they want to keep you down here and they stay up here. Now, let me give you a little example of what having and establishing your business legally can do for you. And I touched on this earlier at the opening of it. When you have a home-based business and you LLC that business, you can now write off your entire house as a write-off because you have established it as a home-based business. All of your utilities are now write-offs because it is a home-based business. Did you know, and you probably didn't know, and I've said this several times on the previous podcasts and shows, you can sell your vehicle to your LLC, get it out of your name, and that vehicle that once was a liability has now turned into an asset. See, when people don't know what they're talking about, they will cause a multitude of people to go astray. And then you had other people that was in the post commenting, agreed 100%. See, listen, if you don't want to make waves, I heard TD Jake say this, if you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. Just stay in your little lane, work until you die, and hopefully you will die safely. But people who have that type of mentality, the only insurance that they have is the health insurance on their job. And then at the end of their term on this physical plane, then they want somebody else to have a GoFundMe and pay for their funeral arrangements. When you listen to people that don't know what they're talking about, you know, it sets a certain precedent. Now, if you are a biblical person or a religious person, the book says, love thy brother as you love thyself. Love your brother as you love yourself. So if I want my people, not just my people, but if I want people in general to be successful, because I want to be successful, I want everybody around me to be successful. There's no little I's and there's no little U's and big I's on my team. Everyone that I'm connected and around and that's in my network, we are all successful in one facet or another. As an LLC, ladies and gentlemen, your credit rating under an LLC is a lot different than your personal credit. Let me say that again. When you know what you're talking about, your personal credit can only get as high as a 900. Your personal credit can only go as high as a 900. Your business credit, when you are a legit business, it only tops out at an 80. What? You mean I can have an 80 credit score on my business and I'm eligible for $500,000? But my personal credit at 900, I'm only eligible, maybe top out at 85 based on how much income I make. So think about that. If you're only making $50,000 a year You can have a 900 credit score, but guess what? You're only going to be eligible to get what you can afford. This is why your personal credit has a debt credit ratio. See? You see how easy that switches the game? If you're only $50,000 a year, let's just up that. We're going to say $60,000 a year. You're $60,000 a year. You got a credit score of a 900, but you have acquired debts that's putting you on the brink of saying you can't afford to finance anything else. That's it. The bank don't care how much money you got and what your credit score is. But under an LLC in a business, it's a different thing. So when you tell people don't learn about LLC and don't be teaching people about LLCs, you're telling them to just be mediocre. You're telling them to just work until they die. Let me tell you something else what LLCs does. Not only does it turn your liabilities into assets because it's generating you money. If you guys can hear me well, make sure please post a 1. If your credit is not credit, but if you have liabilities under your LLC, now your insurance has a different meaning. Because this is your money maker. This is what makes you money. So you want to have that LLC and not just going around telling people you got a business. I know a lot of people that have detail shops, or they're quote unquote detail shops. They actually have a location, but they are not an LLC. So here's where you're setting yourself up at. If you're not reporting those earned incomes, if you are not filling out your tax forms for your city, your state, and your city, your county, and your state, and the federal, if you're not paying income tax, you have an extra job. You may as well, ladies and gentlemen, just go set up at the flea market or have a yard sale. Now, you can only make up to $5,000. Or if you have $5,000 in the bank is going to automatically report you to the IRS. You're not making that. Why do you think the bank asks you, where do you work? Why do you think the bank asks you to list your employment? It's the bank. You're not working for the bank. You're just putting money in the bank. So why does the bank ask you, where do you work? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's a simple thing called a Google search. Now, you don't have to report how much money you make to the bank. They already take a general census. Let's say you're an actual line worker at some factory. They're going to take the average number of workers under that specific title across the nation, and this is how they come up with your tax bracket. Because everyone across the nation makes anywhere from $42,000 to $60,000 with this job title. And so when you break that down over 52 weeks out of the year, it gives you a solid income number of how much you should be putting in the bank. Now, now listen, watch this. Ooh, watch this. Why do you think they ask you to do a direct deposit? Now your direct deposit is coming straight from your job, straight to your bank account, and they know now exactly how much you make on average. Listen, y'all, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We're wrestling against some financial, spiritual wickedness. So now they know how much money you make and how much money you get on average. Now, when you look at your bank statements will say, this is how much you brought in for the month. And this is how much you spent out for the month. Now, if your expenses are higher than your wage, then okay, ain't nobody gonna bother you. You living beyond your means. But it affects your credit, because if you can't maintain a plus bank account, then on average, then nobody's going to invest no money in you. Nobody's going to loan you any money. But now, when you have an LLC, that's a completely separate account. And I teach people this, teach my clients this in the digital target marketing course, how to protect yourself. Now, if you do not have an LLC, you cannot claim deferred taxes. Y'all better hear me, y'all. Y'all better hear me. Y'all better hear me. When you do not have an LLC, you cannot do deferred taxes. We already pay too much taxes. You're taxed before you get your check. You're taxed after you get your check. When you go to the grocery store, you are taxed again. When you pay your utilities, you are taxed again. Now, a lot of y'all who don't have LLCs, you will hoop and holler and do the buck tussle dance at a tax return. Listen, income tax return. They are giving you money back that you overpaid. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. That's not earned money. You didn't earn that. But you treat your income tax check as it's a paycheck. It's where you overpaid. I don't want to pay no taxes. I don't care nothing about getting a tax return. I absolutely care. I don't give one iota. I don't care about one iota of a tax return. I don't want to pay taxes in the first place. So there is a thing that's called deferred taxes. I'm going to pay it eventually, but I'm going to kick it down the road. Boom. And I keep kicking it down the road because I'll keep kicking that tax return, that income, that tax money down the road, so I can file it when I am ready, or I'll pay it when I am ready. But if you don't have an LLC, ladies and gentlemen, you can't do that. So you'll sit there and make some money, and then again, if you put more money into the bank than what you are supposed to be making, the bank is obligated. I'm trying to turn this phone off so it won't keep sounding. If you have so much money in the bank, now the bank is obligated under the FDIC. See, a lot of y'all don't even know who that is. They report automatically to the IRS that you have over $5,000 in the bank, and that's counted as earned income. Now, when you file your income taxes, and if you don't put that number in there, they're going to come and take your money. See, when you don't know what an LLC can do for you, you will make statements and post statements like that, and anybody who follows you, you're going to get them people in trouble. One lady even said, I got an LLC, but I only use it when I need to use it. I use my LLC every day. Every day. When I'm getting gas, I'm not paying for gas. My business is. Guess what? It's a tax write-off. When I buy cars and vehicles, I don't pay for that. My business does. When I go on vacations, when I go on trips, I don't pay for that. My business does. This house that I live in now, I'm not paying for that. My business is. It's not who you know. I know multiple millionaires. I know multiple multi-millionaires. They haven't done anything for me. Well, yes, they have. They've told me how to play this game. I have created a course in digital target marketing called Other People's Money. Other people pay for my living. This is how the wealthy and the rich play. But it's not only who you know, it's what you know and what you apply what you know from who you know. Y'all gonna get this work right now. It's like that because when you understand how the structure of business works. Now, if you are not established as a business and your insurance is different from personal to business, it's higher. And now I said that earlier. Y'all stay with me. Your insurance is different. Your return on that insurance claim is higher than it is on your personal. Because this is how I make money. So a $2,000 laptop, what you guys see me on today, this is my money maker. It has been listed as a part of my business. All of my equipment, my soundboard, this microphone, the lights, the green screen, all of this now is listed as business expenses. And this is how I eat. So if somebody was to break into my home and steal all of it, I'm on an upgrade because I just checked out like a fat rat. I cashed out like a fat rat. This is why wealthy people don't care nothing about somebody breaking and stealing their stuff, unless it's like a Van Gogh or some irreplaceable, priceless painting or something. Then, yeah, that'll kind of make me physically sick. But I don't have any of that stuff in my house. Even my leather tools with the leather shop, that's $1 million value. Now, granted, let me tell you how this works under the LLC. A $5.99 leather tool, if somebody was to steal all of my tools, I'm going to cash out at $1 million. Why is that? Because those tools have the potential of earning me $1 million over a period of time. When you don't know this, under the wow, I don't need no LLC. I still got a business. I've been having a business for years. Did you know that these people will allow you to play for years? And then when the IRS come in and hit you in the head, now you're going to be paying for stuff when they dig all the way back in your pockets. They're going to go all the way back to when you said you started the business, and now you got to pay back taxes because you're not protected. LLCs, INCs, COs, COMs, however you want to label it, it's a protection in those titles. If you are a serious business owner or entrepreneur and not a wontrepreneur. If you are not writing off everything in your life, ladies and gentlemen, you're losing a lot of money. And I don't know anybody, unless you just want to go through life and die safely. If you want to be mediocre, you stay being mediocre. But don't tell nobody not to listen to somebody else who, like myself, and there are several others who giving free game on how to set yourself free. If you're in a house right now and you're saying that you got a small business and you're not writing that off on your taxes, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you the difference. And I normally don't drop receipts. Now, I'm just going to give you a story. There was a business person who had started out and didn't know anything about LLCs, just filling out your standard 1040 Schedule C on the tax return. basically saying it was a home-based business, but it was just a way to make extra money. Now, the tax returns were great because the expenses he or she had learned was have more expenses than you do revenue, and you can claim that as a loss. See, that's poor man's hustling, poor man's thinking. That's entrepreneur thinking. So basically what that person was telling the IRS was, I am taking money out of my personal world and spending it on a business that I'm not making any money from. So now that person's tax returns was somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000 a year as an individual. Now, a poor person's think, ooh, that's a lot of money. And you ain't have to claim no children and all this other kind of stuff. See, poor hustling, poor thinking, when you don't know what you don't know. But then when that individual got up under some proper tutelage and learned that the benefits were not into getting a tax return, but to not pay taxes at all, that means all the money that person made, they got to keep it. Ooh, that's boss game. That's boss game. Through understanding what an LLC can do. Did you know that and I've spoken on this several other times, you don't even have the LLC in the state that you live in when you understand how to play the game. Just Google search, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take my word for it. Go back and research it for yourself. Google search the number of businesses that have incorporated out of the state of Delaware. There's reasons why these major businesses, these Fortune 500 companies, they don't live. Have you ever heard of anybody that wanted to move to Delaware on purpose? No, you haven't. Nobody ever talked about, man, I'm going to retire and move to Delaware. No, you haven't. But you can incorporate out of the state of Delaware because of the benefits of incorporating and registering your business there. Everybody in the world knows that Coca-Cola, the headquarters of Coca-Cola, is in Atlanta. Anybody who's know anything, Coca-Cola is headquartered in Atlanta. They've been in Atlanta ever since 1939. But guess where they incorporated out of? Delaware. Anheuser-Busch. That's in Milwaukee. But they incorporated out of Delaware. Anybody ever heard of a company called Microsoft? See, you play yourself when you don't know, and then you tell other people don't listen to somebody who's dropping golden nuggets of information like this. Ladies and gentlemen, when I learned how this game is played, even if I'm going out to dinner, I don't pay for dinner. And I go to some pretty nice restaurants. I think I shared that story with y'all one time that I went to this restaurant in Tampa called Charlie's. Oh my God, they gave a meat presentation and everything. You don't get that at Outback. they brought the whole meat cart and did a presentation at the table. Best steak I ever had in my life. But I didn't pay for it. I was mad at that price. God knows I was mad at the price. Well, indirectly, I did pay for it, but I didn't pay for it because I used my business credit card. And whoop, I got a return on that. When you know how to play the game. I was flying back and forth to Florida 4 times a year. I never paid for one single trip. And I did that for 3 years, for 5 years, for 5 years. For 5 years, I was flying back and forth to Florida. Now, 3 years of that, I'll tell you, be transparent and honest with you. 3 of those years was when I learned to stop paying for it out of my pocket. Because now I am a registered, legit business. Now, let me tell you something else. For those of y'all who don't know benefits of LLCs. If you have a business, ladies and gentlemen, and again, you don't have to register in the state that you live in, I now get a tax break for hiring a local Alabamian to work in a business from out of state that I LLC'd. I get a tax break for that. Oh, see, you didn't know that part. Some of y'all know just enough to know to get an LLC. But here's another thing. Did you also know that you don't have to wait and pay once a year? Your taxes? That's a big, huge check to write when you are a non-registered business and you're still trying to file on a 1040 Schedule C. And then when you have somebody file your tax papers, then you have to turn around and they say, well, okay, you had this amount of months. But see, as an LLC, I mean, not as LLC, but as a home-based business on filing under Schedule C, you only got 2 years to claim a loss. You didn't know that. After year number 2, you have to show that you either broken even or you are making a profit, even if it ain't number $10. But you can't claim a loss in year 3. It triggers a flag at the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. It triggers a flag that this is a falsified business and you might be doing something illegal. Study the SBA law. I ain't spilling my tea. I'm giving y'all this work. So there are all types of reasons why. Just for the simple principle of, well, everybody don't make money just because you got an LLC. Why not? That means you don't know enough. If you sitting up here saying you got an LLC or you got a business that's LLC and you're not making any money, my question to you is, why aren't you making any money? It's not the fact of the LLC. It could be you just got a bum business, or you got a bad business model, or you don't know how to run a business. But this is why anytime you start a business and anytime that anyone takes either my course or somebody else's course, it don't matter who course you take, this is why reading is fundamental. My advisor told me that a serious entrepreneur reads anywhere from 10 to 15 books a month. Ooh, 10 to 15 books? I don't have that kind of time. Why not? You got time to be on Facebook. You got time to be on the phone trying to find out what happened at the club last weekend. You got time to go out and do everything else, but you don't have time to learn how to improve and scale your business to make money. See, in this entrepreneurial world, and I just put this post up, well, actually it's going to go up tomorrow. But the post says, the difference between broke people and rich people, broke people spend their money before they even get it. Rich people spend their money after they get it. Now, what does that mean, Robert? Right now, ladies and gentlemen, you know how much money you're making on your check every week on your job. And your money is already designated and it's gone before you even got it. Because you need to pay this, you need to pay this. You forgot to pay this last week, so you got to make up and double up the payment on that. Your check is already gone. Then Even if you get a bonus check, you've already spent that bonus check because you know the bonus check is coming. Ooh, I'm finna go get that Louis Vuitton purse. I'm gonna get my hair done, my nails done, everything else done. Ooh, man, them new J's come out this weekend. That's broke people spending their money before they even get it. This is why your LLC don't make money. This is why my business didn't make money. The two shops that I had, ladies and gentlemen, I'm covered up in work. I'm covered up in work, but I'm not seeing anything. LLC benefit. You can stop buying at wholesale and start buying at manufactured cost. Ooh. Y'all don't hear me though. Ooh, y'all don't hear me though. Manufactured cost is cheaper than wholesale. Because now I don't have to go through a third party. I can go straight directly to the person who made it. And I can get from them. I can buy from them. See, when you don't know the benefits of having an LLC and registering your business the right, correct way, you will come across people who speak on utter, I won't say, yes, I will, ignorance, because ignorance means not knowing. That's not necessarily a derogatory term. It just means that they don't know. But you also got to take into account that they don't know because they don't want to know. They just happy with making extra money. So let's just say I have a job. I'm already making $15 an hour. That's my job. That's what pays my business. But I detail cars on the side. In a broke person's mind, well, I'm going to, I need, and this is what I talked about earlier with Dope Boy Economics on another podcast I did. We're talking about Dope Boy Economics. See, Dope Boy Economics, when you're trying to run a business with Dope Boy Economics, my $15 an hour job is going to pay for my livelihood, but my side hustle, that's what I'm going, that's my extra money because I know I'm going to bring in $700 right there a week. Just by washing and detailing cars as my side business. Or I'm going to cut $500 to $600 worth of grass as my side business. Now, what's going to happen through the process of social media, because you're going to go on there and do like most people do. Thank y'all. Hey, look, I got my grass cutting business. Y'all start hitting me up to get y'all grass cut. Understand how this world works. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. But now I done posted all on social media my side business. That's what I'm calling it, my business. It's a track record. IRS, ain't nobody got to tell on you. You told on yourself. Let me say that again. Stop thinking that everybody hating on you. Everybody's not hating on you. You told on yourself. On this thing, this platform called social media, ladies and gentlemen, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing if you know how to utilize it in order to make money, but it's a curse when you don't know how to utilize it and now you start tracking. Every government agency has an open fairway to social media platforms. So when you coming on social media talking about that you have a business, but you're not legalized, them folks gonna let you run that thing for about 5 or 10 years. Now imagine you haven't paid taxes on extra earned income of, let's just say you're doing $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year. And you multiply that times 5. $120,000 that you haven't paid taxes on. And then now they hitting you over the head with, you got to come up with $75,000. that you haven't paid, because the IRS, ladies and gentlemen, is compounding interest. This is why the saying is you will never pay the IRS off. You got to write that one lump sum check in order to get them out of your hair. Because if you don't, it compounds. So when you only owe 2% this year, you're going to owe 4% next year. And then if you don't pay it off next year, then that 4 compounds and it becomes 8% in 3 years. And then in the 4th year, it compounds again on the 8%, and now it's up to 16%. See what happens when you don't know what you don't know? This is why the book called Bible says, my people suffer because of lack of knowledge. It's not the lack of who you know. It's not the lack of who you know. It's the lack of what you know. If I owed, you have to understand how this game is played, ladies and gentlemen. I did another podcast maybe a few months ago to where I was showing people how to even create this business called shelf corporations. There are people that I know that create businesses. They're not doing anything with the business. They shelf it. They put it on a shelf and let it gain maturity and age. So now, 5 years down the road, that business now has established credibility as a legit business. And then they turn around and sell the shelf corporations. And I showed you guys that on the podcast. Some of those businesses are going upwards of $100,000 to $300,000 for a shelf corporation. Now, when you know how to play this game as an LLC, you can create that LLC for as little as $15. You can get registered for as little as $15 in some states. If you guys watch that podcast, you know I gave you the whole rundown of all 50 states of where you can LLC that business. And you can pay $15 by LLCing it in the state of Alaska, and you can shelf it. You can shelf it. Who couldn't pay $15 a year? All you got to do is cover 5 years. So in 5 years, you can turn right around. Now, 5 times 15, that's 25. That's $75 you done spent. You can actually pay 5 years up front in year 1 to have a business, and that covers your LLC fees for the next 5 years. Then in 5 years, you can turn around and sell that business and make anything over $1,000 is profit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I thank you guys for chilling with me these past 3 years. I thank you. I thank you for supporting me. I thank you for supporting digital target marketing over the past 5 years. But when you know what you know, we got to all stand up and shout, ladies and gentlemen. And we got to spread this word and help our people come out of the condition that they're in. Because when you know something, this is what changes your zip code. I am R.D. Muhammad with Book R.D. Muhammad and Digital Target Marketing. I thank you guys for chilling with me and supporting me. Hey, anytime, sign up, follow the page. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm everywhere. Go in and support the podcast so I can keep dropping y'all this game to help change your zip code and change your life. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Hey, look, man, I always wanted to do that as a rock star. He's gonna break it down. He's gonna break it down right now. I don't know how the white boys do that, man. I just got a headache. Hey, I'll see y'all later, man. I'll check y'all on the other side. Peace.